Let's talk about the framing of extinction and the idea of we no longer provide reinforcement for that. What impact might that have on the work that we do? Hi, I'm Dr. Megan, and I guide people in growing, learning, and cultivating connection and curiosity. And today we're going to finally continue our discussion on extinction that we've been having around what does this new way of practicing look like? What does it mean to say we don't use extinction, or we're not using it that often, etc. I've already answered some of those big questions in previous videos, so if you're wondering about that part, make sure to go check those out. They're labeled very clearly on my page with extinction, part 1, part 2, etc. Today, I wanted to take a minute to really dive in on this framing. When people talk about using extinction procedures, the very big focus is on what in the environment is maintaining the challenging behavior. So we remove that, we remove the suspected reinforcer and expect that to change the behavior of the person. And I think we really need to reflect upon how that framing really impacts everything that we do. Because if our focus is on what do we need to take away from this person, what do we need to remove in order to fix how they're responding, we're less likely to be focused on how can we support this person? What can we do to help build skills and help them navigate the experience that they're having? I have seen, and myself done it, a over focus on that, oh my gosh, we can't provide reinforcement piece of things, to the point where that's all anyone's tracking. They're looking at, are the parents, the teachers, the therapists, the behavior analysts, are they withholding whatever the identified reinforcer is every time the challenging behavior occurs? And there's little to no data being collected on how are they supporting this person during a difficult moment. So one of the things that I would say we definitely need to make sure we're doing when we're looking at how can we more compassionately and humanely address what people call challenging behavior is stop framing it as, oh, we need to identify the reinforcer and remove it, and start thinking more about how can we support this person. When we're changing the consequences that are being provided, what can we do to train people in the environment to provide supportive consequences? And of course, antecedents are important too. I think I've talked about that in previous videos. I'm sure I'll talk about it some more. But if we're not providing a supportive, low-stress learning environment in the first place, we're obviously setting ourselves up for failure as well. But I'm talking about the consequence side, right? Like, what do we do once the challenging, distressed behavior starts occurring? And if our main focus is on, oh, well, we gotta keep those reinforcers in check, we're really losing sight on being responsive to the person and how we can best support them during this experience that they're having. So I guess what I'm saying is we need to shift from a mindset where we're focused on behavior management or behavior analysis to a mindset of behavior understanding, where we're really working to understand the person and be responsive to them, as opposed to trying to control access to reinforcement. I still have several parts left to cover on extinction, so if this is a conversation that is important to you, make sure to give me a follow, or if you're interested in continuing to learn other aspects of how we can do better in the field of behavior analysis, make sure to follow as well.